Today on Vox, we'll have information on someone who passed and more. Ben Dudash will have your local weather, and Jay Standards will have your sports.
It's Monday, September 21st, 2020. You're watching Vox News Today.
Good afternoon and welcome back. I'm Kendra Taylor.
And I'm Gunnar Taylor.
On September 11th, 2 Ohio high school students were granted scholarships after they were suspended from their football team for carrying flags on the field during a game. The two students, Brady Williams and Jared Bentley, were told prior to the incident that they could not bring flags onto the field by the school district. Williams, the son of the sheriff's deputy, held a, quote, thin blue line flag, end quote, and Bentley, the son of a fireman, carried a, quote, thin red line flag onto the field. The school suspended them shortly after.
United States postal workers who deliver mail in Chicago's more violent areas are boycotting their service after a mail carrier was shot in the city's south side earlier this month. The carrier was a 24-year-old woman and was left in critical condition after being shot several times at 91st Street and Ellis Avenue while she was delivering mail on September 10th. The police said the worker did not appear to be a target. She was a victim who was caught in a crossfire during a drive-by.
Pamela Hutchinson, a singer in the R&B group The Emotions, has passed away at 61 years old. The group's official Facebook page released the news of her passing with a black and white headshot of the star. Quote, "In loving memory, we are saddened to announce the passing of our sister, Pamela Rose Hutchinson, on Friday, September 18, 2020, end quote. The post reads, quote, "Pam succumbed to health issues that she had been battling for several years," end quote.
Joe Biden, Democratic presidential nominee, holds a big financial advantage over President Trump as the race for White House goes into its final weeks. The former vice president's campaign reported on Sunday that it and the Democratic National Committee, DNC, began September with $466 million in the bank and roughly $141 million more than cash on hand for the president and the Republican nominee. Tim Murtaugh, Trump's campaign communications director, tweeted on Friday that the president's re-election team and the RNC had $325 million in their coffers at the beginning of the month.
The wildfire in Angeles National Forest, known as the Bobcat Fire, grew 35% in one night. Low humidity and strong winds caused this fire to be a struggle for the firefighters to contain. Vice Penna within the LA County Fire Department says the number of homes destroyed is unknown at this time.
Williamson County man wanted on multiple counts of child rape. Brian Smith was also indicted by a grand jury for aggravated sexual exploitation of a minor, and aggravated unlawful photography. Spring Hill Police describes him as 6 feet, 170 pounds, blue eyes, strawberry blonde hair, and he wears glasses. If you see him, call your local police department.
Here's Ben Dudash with your weather.
I'll have your weather and more right after this break.
One thing to love about the Tennessee Valley is Bradley Central Show Choir, Vocal Motion. The other thing to love is the local Geico office on Lee Highway.
You could save a lot. Oh, you can save a lot. Oh, you can save a lot. But how do you know? Unless you call 894-2600.
Got a car? Got a boat? Got a home?
Get a quote.
CRCC to me is a calling that God placed on my life to really step out in faith on something that I didn't think I could do, and it's been amazing to see how God's worked through it.
CRCC stands for Crossroads Community Church, but we're a church that our vision is to be a life-giving church in our community. We do that through helping people know God, find freedom, discover their purpose, and then go make a difference. And so that's what we're doing every week, is helping people discover their jam and go make a difference.
So let's take a look at your weather at glance. Today's high is going to be 75, and it's going to be a beautiful day with sun all day today. And the low is going to be 47. Gusts of wind reaching 5 miles per hour going east. Tuesday is going to be partly cloudy with a high of 74 and a low of 54. And Wednesday is going to be cloudy with a high of 75 and a low of 58. And the humidity today is going to be at least 49%. Now, that's all for the weather at glance, so let's take a look at your 7-day weather forecast. Thursday is going to be rainy with a high of 69 and a low of 61. Friday, scattered thunderstorms with a high of 77 and a low of 63. Saturday, there's going to be some showers during AM times. 79 is the high, 66 is the low. Sunday, again, AM showers with a high of 79 and a low of 61. Now let's take a look at our local radar. It's all in the clear for today. Nothing so far, but maybe throughout the day there might be some few scattered clouds, but other than that, it's all in the clear. Now let's take a look at our national radar. There are some scattered thunderstorms and rain near New Orleans and near Austin and Dallas, Texas as well. But that's all going to be moving towards the east side, going towards Jacksonville and Florida. But other than that, everywhere else seems perfectly fine. That's all for weather. Now I'll send it over to Jace with your sports.
The Dallas Cowboys had a historic comeback on Sunday. Find out the score and more after this break.
In 1933, Ray Jackson founded Jackson Furniture in the midst of the Great Depression. We opened our doors the day the banks closed theirs. Since then, we have continued to create furniture right here in the USA. We have seen decades of American prosperity, challenge, war, and mind-blowing advancements in science and technology. We have never forgotten the way our company and country began, with perseverance, hope, and hard work. Throughout all of those decades of change, one thing remains consistent. Families love to relax together in a room filled with comfortable furniture. That is where we have been and will always be. From being huddled around a radio to being kicked back in front of a giant flat screen.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at the Western Conference Finals. The Denver Nuggets were hoping to tie up the series at 1, but Anthony Davis had other plans in mind after hitting a game-winning three-pointer to put the Lakers up 2-0 in the series, beating the Nuggets 105-103. Now let's take a look at some NCAA scores. We got Troy beating MTSU 47-14, Tulsa losing to Oklahoma State 16-7, Clemson beating the Citadel 49-0, and Miami beating Louisville 47-34. Now to the NFL. The Dallas Cowboys trailed the Falcons 39-24 with 5 minutes to go in the game. Then Dak Prescott showed why he says he's worth $40 million. He led a drive downfield and scored. Greg the Leg Zuerlein kicked an onside kick in the style known as copter. The Falcons forgot how to play football for a second, but that was enough for the Cowboys to get the ball back and kick a field goal with 0 seconds remaining. This loss gives Matt Ryan his first career 0-2 start and moves the Cowboys to 1-1. The Titans beat the Jaguars 33-30. The Seahawks beat the Patriots 35-30, and the Chiefs beat the Chargers in overtime 23-20. Now to the MLB. The Braves' magic number is 4 to make it to the playoffs and 5 to win the division for the third time in a row. The remaining schedule has the Marlins for 4 games and the Red Sox for 3 games to end the regular season. The Marlins aren't an easy task to put away either. This should be a really interesting end to a really interesting season. But the Braves beat the Mets 7-0. The Indians beat the Tigers 7-4. The Blue Jays beat the Phillies 6-3, and the Angels beat the Diamondbacks 3-2. That's all for sports today. We'll have more news after this break.
Denso has been around for a really, really long time, locally in our area, over 30 years, and it's a very stable company to work for.
Before I started working here, I didn't know what Denso was, but since I've been working here, knowing how much Denso sort of has its footprint all over the world, it's actually a global company that a lot of people in America haven't heard of, but it interacts with everything you do. If you drive a car, you probably have a Denso part in it.
So some of my daily tasks consist of fixing the machines, communicating with my other associates, and making sure all these production lines are working properly.
We do logistics. We repack finished good products.
My day-to-day here is basically working on the machines and producing product for Denso.
Alexa, ask Whirlpool. Hey Google, ask Whirlpool. Ask Whirlpool, ask Whirlpool.
Care can be a handful. That's why our Whirlpool Smart Range helps you care smarter with voice control.
Hey Google, ask Whirlpool to turn off the oven.
Set oven timer for 5 hours. Keep warm. Alexa, ask Whirlpool to preheat the oven to 350.
So life doesn't revolve around your range. Everyday care. Whirlpool.
Welcome back, Bradley Central. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg died at age 87. She was the second woman appointed in the United States Supreme Court. Quote, "Our nation has lost a jurist of historic stature. We at the Supreme Court have lost a cherished colleague," end quote, said Chief Justice John Roberts.
After cancer, Carrie started driving Uber. Carrie used her tips to make sandwiches for the homeless. She began driving Lyft and Uber in 2018 after being diagnosed with breast cancer. On Saturdays and Sundays, she drops off peanut butter jelly sandwiches to around 100 homeless people.
As of September 20th, 2,075 new cases of COVID-19 have sprung up. This brings the total number of cases to 183,514. Only 177,394 are confirmed, while 6,120 are still being looked into. There are 662 people being hospitalized and 2 confirmed deaths.
The punk band Bikini Kill will be hosting concerts this week. The show will start at 8 p.m. and tickets will be $30 in advance and $32 the day of the show. They're a feminist punk band based on Olympia, Washington, in Washington, D.C. Formed in 1990, they specialize in controversial lyrics and political topics and instigating issues. For more information on their concerts, visit their webpage.
There's a workshop available to those interested in mosaic art. You'll learn about colors, textures, and shapes while applying stained glass to concrete slabs. All materials will be provided, and you can take home your pieces after making them. You'll be given a 45-minute break included in the workshop to allow your piece to dry.
The Clarksville Downtown Market is open until September 26th from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Local farmers will be able to feature their produce, food items, and handcrafted items as well. There will be music played live and mascot Corny the Cob around the area. You'll be able to participate in events on certain days. Find out what's available on their website.
We are online on YouTube at BCHS VOX News.
You can check us out on Facebook and, of course, voxnews.net.
Remind your friends and family to tune in.
You just can't get enough of Vox.
That's all we have for you today, Bradley Central.
And as always,
God bless and go Bears.